The committee is resumed. Tēnā wai e ra whare, inga iwi, inga reo, inga hawe wha tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Shalom, and kia ora. A time limit debate. All right. Now, honourable members, the question is that vote police stand part of the schedules. I call the honourable member Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak briefly to the estimates debate on the police. And I want to start by pointing out that in all of our debates around the budget, the Labour Party has been quick to highlight that our hope was for a budget that would set out a strong vision for work, for family, and for housing, because those are all of the areas that we desperately need a strong vision for New Zealanders. But underneath all of that, of course, are the fundamentals, the things that, of course, central government are involved in: justice, law and order, underpin whether or not our families feel secure in their homes and their communities. One of the things that I feel frustrated by in the police portfolio is that the Minister has started to take for granted, I think, the basis on which she funds police as being her determination as where the crime rate sits. Now, of course, Mr. Chair, crime in New Zealand is recorded crime. The rates that we use, that we talk about, are all based on whether or not the general public are phoning in and reporting crime to the police. Now, in order for people to continue to do that, it relies on people feeling like that is a worthwhile venture, that their report will be responded to, that they will get some kind of either attendance by police or some resolution to the issue that they've raised. So it does become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If the police don't attend, someone's less likely to report, therefore it looks like your crime rate is going down. Now, we raised this at Select Committee during the estimates with the Minister. She claimed that my view was very last century to raise this issue. I thought that was curious, given it's an issue that members of the public themselves have raised. She claimed, for instance, that for property offences, of course someone would phone in and report something because they require it for their insurance claim, ignoring completely the fact that we actually don't know how many New Zealanders have contents insurance. And in all likelihood, members, I imagine, of our poorer communities may be less likely to have contents insurance, and yet are more likely to be preyed upon when it comes to things like property theft. So I do not believe, Minister, that it is a strong foundation to argue that based on all of those premises and the crime rate, that therefore means we can reduce our resourcing of policing. And in fact, not just in the operational budget, because in this budget we have seen a decline in the police budget by $40 million. $40 million reduction, and that is on top of frozen budgets and cuts, a $40 million reduction in operating expenditure for the police. Now, the Minister tried to claim that actually it wasn't a cut in funding, they just weren't putting in the extra boost they put in last time. Let me explain what that extra boost was. It was supplementary appropriations. Mid-year, the government realised they hadn't given the police enough to do the job, and so they had to put a little bit of extra sneaky money in through supplementary appropriations. The Minister claims those are costs that we won't be facing again. They were basic costs like redundancy. Redundancy, which was occurring, mind, to try and get police costs down. We are in a vicious cycle with our police at present, and we can see the impact it's having. Example one, ageing police cars. We have now 71 vehicles that failed their warrant of fitness in the last year. 58 vehicles have done over 200,000 kilometres. I've heard of police vehicles breaking down on the job. These vehicles are a key part of the police doing their job. Not only is it an ageing fleet, they've got fewer cars since this government came into office. Example number two, we're seeing the police having to make cost-cutting priorities between drug squads and reallocating people to child protection teams. Those are not two areas that you should pick and choose between. Demand does not lift and drop when it comes to serious organised crime and child protection. In fact, if anything, both of those areas are escalating, and we need to maintain our focus on both. And finally, Mr. Speaker, staffing numbers. They're lower now than they were even 2 years ago. And this was the government that in 2008 promised New Zealand a ratio of 1 police officer per 500. The Minister conceded at Select Committee that they have given that promise away. They no longer retain that commitment. And why? Because apparently everything is going swimmingly. Ask a New Zealander whether they think crime is going down. Ask them. And I think they'll tell you that from this high-profile, serious, violent crime we're seeing, it certainly has not.
Mr. Chair.
I call the Honourable Minister Anne Tolley.
I would be very interested.